Okay, so now that I've finally completed the game, I thought I would just do a little closing video saying, the final thoughts on the game and all that. So, I can't really understate how annoying this game is to play. I mean, it's a good game. I think it is a good game. I mean, it's probably more fun to just play it casually rather than to actually try to complete it. I mean, it starts off pretty easy. In fact, I would go as far as to say anything that isn't a battle is pretty easy. Like the races are all easy, beat the bombs are all easy, the fugitives are all easy, the choppers ones are easy. And normally battles like these 4-player free-for-alls, they're normally quite easy as well, because you can, if you get lucky, you can win in like a minimum of 3 rounds. And you can play second and still earn points. They're not too bad, and then where you're against two opponents, they're also okay, but they're a little bit harder because you have to beat 2 people every time. Or you can't play second and still get a point, but you can get 0. Where it gets annoying is with these 2-car team battles. Now, some of them are fine, but some of them are just hell. I mean, look at there's some battles against 3-car teams. But I mean, the very worst in the game, the first really hard one you get is actually this battle one, which isn't against a team. But that was just really bad because it's on a snow course. But I mean, the Polar Wharfs battle against a 3-car team, that was pretty bad, I think. The reason they're so bad, and this one against a 2-car team, really bad. They're so bad because, you already have the odds stacked against you, so they have like double the chance of winning as you do. And generally the AI in this game drive pretty well right off the bat anyway. Like maybe on Angel Peak they'll be pretty easy to beat. I mean, just look at the very first race. But when you get as far as Coco Bay and you're on a pretty tricky track already, they have twice the chance. They seem to get lucky with the weapons they get, and you're sort of forced to play aggressively, which means you're more likely to crash into the barrier or fall off the track and that sort of thing. So it just becomes really grueling to do, and it can feel like pure luck, to be honest with you. So other bad ones, Silver Creek, the silver medal was terrible. This one's pretty bad, but not too bad. Red Pool Tip, this one here is probably the hardest thing in the entire game. I couldn't explain it why this one in particular, but it's just bad. And then the tournaments always finish off with a battle against a 3-car team. So imagine my surprise when I finally finish Red Pill Tip against a 2-car team, and then I find out I have to do it against a 3-car team. I mean, it wasn't easy. It took me a lot less time to do this one than the other one though. But yeah, and the final thing was this night tournament was the last thing I did. This final battle was actually pretty hard as well. Somehow the ice tournament was the easiest tournament, which you would never expect. But anyway, that's about the difficulty of the game and how hard it is to complete. As far as vehicles go in this game, generally it doesn't seem to matter that much. Like, I don't know, I don't really care what car it is in. There's obviously some differences between the cars and they look different, but I mean, I just didn't really care about the cars as much as I did about the tracks. Now the tracks in this game, I really like most of the tracks in the game, pretty much every track in the game. I mean, Angel Peaks is simple, Cargo Temple, but like when you get the gimmicky tracks like Ventura Boulevard with all the traffic on it, you have Polar Wharf is a classic. Obviously, it's pretty fun to drive on. Red Bull Tip's a nice track, as annoying as it is to complete. And then my favourite track, one of my favourite tracks in any game, is honestly this one, Mukov. I don't know what it is about it. Well, obviously you got the the barge that you have to wait on, which is like it doesn't really exist in any other game or track that I can think of. I'm sure there's something else that has this similar gimmick, but I don't know. And a lot of this is nostalgia driven as well, because I did play this game a long time ago. But yeah, that's about all I had to say, to be honest. I'll probably do another playthrough of a different game. I'll probably do Runabout 3, to be honest. I started a playthrough of that before, like 8 years ago, but I'll actually be able to record it now on the computer, so that'll be a lot better. And I might actually do commentary for that one, rather than just keep it silent. And I couldn't have done commentary for this game, there's no way. The amount of restarts I did, like in restarting the recording, and it was just a lot of shouting. I mean a lot of shouting at the game. Like, it got pretty bad. Like, the stress. It's one of the most brutal and relentless games to try and complete, for sure, because it's so quick to fail, and then you feel like you've been cheated. Like, the amount of times you'll be 1 point away from winning, and then you'll just lose all of the ground you made. And it just gets too much sometimes, but yeah. That's smashed. Fully loaded. I think it was called like Drive to Survive or something, but in the USA or something. Whatever. That's the game, and that's all I have to say. So, see you later.